What's going on, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Hope this sounds okay. As you can tell, I'm not at home. I'm here. I'm recording this pretty late at night. It's like right around my bedtime, but found out my son is sick down in Connecticut. So guess what? I got to go pick him up. And so I'll be gone. That's what I'll be doing while you're watching this. I'll be either driving there or driving back. He's got the flu. So can't be there. Half day though, so hopefully not too bad. Get a little reading in, and then the rest of the time you can just have to work on whatever you need to work on. Get your quizzes in from Friday, get your study guides in, all that kind of stuff. So any work from another class, that's fine. Just please don't give the sub a hard time. Yeah, we're going to continue with Flowers for Algernon. Yesterday, we read how it was kind of just a bridge in between what I thought we were going to get to. We will get to it today. Just maybe a sign that something's wrong. A little connection between Algernon and Charlie. And kind of a, if you have a heart, maybe you don't. Maybe some of you are very mean. But if you have a heart, this story might get you a little upset. Just like the last time when we read Charlie was being taken advantage by his friends. Remember, they made him go buy a newspaper and then they disappeared. Well, Charlie is going to do that to somebody now because he's just so mean. Just kidding. He's going to witness something. So, a little sad, I think. But here we go. May 20th. And if you remember yesterday when we read, he's starting to get on, he's starting to understand some of the motivations behind the two doctors. You know how one of them, doesn't matter which one, I can't remember, maybe Dr. Namor, Dr. Strauss, one of those, is just kind of in it for the glory. He's 60, he's worried that he's getting old. So maybe they rush things a little bit. All right, let's get into it. May 20th here. I would not have noticed the new dishwasher, a boy of about 16, at the corner diner where I usually take my evening meals, if not for the incident of the broken dishes. They crashed to the floor, shattering and sending bits of white china under the tables. Just going to get the glasses on so I can see a little better. The boy stood there, dazed and frightened, holding the empty tray in his hand. The whistles and cat calls from the customers, the cries of, "Hey, there go the profits, Mazel Tov," and, well, he didn't work here very long, which invariably seems to follow the breaking of glass or dishware in a public restaurant. All seemed to confuse him. So, poor guy, in front of all those people, it looks like he broke some glasses or some dishes, and now everybody's making fun of him. When the owner came to see what the excitement was about, the boy cowered, as if he expected to be struck, and threw up his arms as if to ward off the blow. Okay, so little inference there, coward. Okay, so if you've ever seen, when I hear coward, coward, the way it's written there, not someone who's not brave, coward, it reminds me of like a dog who has been hit, and you might see them. You can tell, if I hope you've never been around a dog who has been abused, but they do that. They cower, like they're ready to get hit, or ready to protect themselves. So unfortunately, the inference there shows that this boy has probably been abused somewhere. Hopefully not his boss, but geez. All right, you dope, shouted the owner. Don't just stand there. Get the broom. Sweep that mess up. A broom, you idiot. It's in the kitchen. Sweep up all the pieces. The boy saw that he was not going to be punished. His frightened expression, excuse me, disappeared, and he smiled and hummed as he came back with the broom to sweep the floor. A few of the rowdier customers kept up the remarks, amusing themselves at his expense. "Hey, Sonny, over here. There's a nice piece behind you. Come on, do it again." He's not so dumb. It's easier to break them than to wash them. As his vacant eyes moved across the crowd of amused onlookers, he slowly mirrored their smiles, finally broke into an uncertain grin at the joke, which he obviously did not understand. I felt sick inside. As I looked at his dull, Vaishya's smile, the wide, bright eyes of a child, uncertain but eager to please. They were laughing at him because he was mentally, I won't say that word out loud, but remember, this was written in the 60s. So we might say he's a bit slow today or challenged. And I had been laughing at him too. Suddenly, I was furious at myself and all those who were smirking at him. I jumped up and shouted, "Shut up! Leave him alone. It's not his fault he can't understand. He can't help what he is, but he's still a human being." The room grew silent. I cursed myself for losing control and creating a scene. I tried not to look at the boy as I paid my check, walked out without touching my food. I felt ashamed for both of us. It's too bad. He shouldn't feel ashamed for him or the boy. He should feel ashamed for the people that acted the way they did. How strange it is that people of honest feelings and sensibility who would not take advantage of a man born without arms or legs or eyes, how such people think nothing of abusing a man born with low intelligence. It infuriated me to think that not too long ago I, like this boy, had foolishly played the clown, and I'd almost forgotten. I'd hidden the picture of the old Charlie Gordon from myself because now that I was intelligent, it was something that had to be pushed out of my mind. But today, in looking at that boy for the first time, I saw what I had been. I was just like him. Only a short time ago, I learned that people laughed at me. Now I can see that unknowingly, I joined with them in laughing at myself. That hurts most of all. I've often reread my progress reports and seen the illiteracy, the childish naivete, the mind of low intelligence peering from a dark room through the keyhole at the dazzling light outside. I see that even in my dullness, I knew that I was inferior and that other people had something I lacked, something denied me. In my mental blindness, I thought that it was somehow connected with the ability to read and write. And I was sure that if I could get those skills, I would automatically have intelligence too. Even a feeble minded man wants to be like other men. Child may not know how to feed itself or what to eat, yet knows of hunger. This then is what I was like. I never knew. Even with my gift of intellectual awareness, I never really knew. All right. 161 right there, right at the top. I want to make sure because I can't see that little picture of me. I mean, I could totally get rid of myself. Then I don't know. I feel like I'm not even teaching if I'm not there. Well, I'm actually not in class, am I? So, but I still am teaching. Hopefully, right there, 161. This day was good for me. Seeing the past more clearly, I've decided to use my knowledge and skills to work in the field of increasing human intelligence levels. Who's better equipped for this work? Who else had lived in both worlds? These are my people. Let me use my gift to do something for them. Tomorrow, I will discuss with Dr. Strauss the manner in which I can work in this area. I may be able to help him work out the problems of widespread use of the technique which was used on me. I have several good ideas of my own. There is so much that might be done with this technique if I could be made into a genius. What about thousands of others like myself? What fantastic levels might be achieved by using this technique on normal people, on geniuses? There are so many doors to open. I'm impatient to begin. Progress report 13. Okay, now it's at this point where we might say there is going to be a turn. I'm not sure about a climax, but there's definitely something that is to be said, like a big change here. And so think of Neuralink, we talked about before. Like if this is going to be done for other people, will there be consequences in the real world? Can we learn anything from this story? I don't know, definitely an opinion, but it goes back to what we've talked about, like with Frankenstein. Like, be careful. of nature, messing with nature. Some things humans should not get into. And I don't know, it kind of follows this theme here. All right. Right at the top, Progress Report 13, May 23rd. Happened today. Algernon bit me. I visited the lab to see him as I do occasionally. And when I took him out of his cage, he snapped at my hand. I put him back and watched him for a while. He was unusually disturbed and vicious. So, if I were in class right now, this probably would be a good place. I would pause this and say, what do you think this might mean for Charlie? Might be actually a pretty easy question. I don't think the author has made us work too hard to figure out if Algernon is a couple weeks ahead of Charlie. Well, what's going to happen to Charlie in a couple weeks? I promise. I had a friend in Italy, right? Still have a friend in Italy. He came to visit me this summer. But during the pandemic, 2022 or 2020, I don't know if you remember, but like Italy got hit really hard with the pandemic before we did. And so we would talk in English. We would talk about what was going on, and we were like about 2 weeks behind. So there was at one point where he was like, "Oh my gosh, guess what? Toilet paper. You can't find that stuff anywhere." And then 2 weeks later, if you remember, yeah, toilet paper. You couldn't find it. Then he started talking about lockdowns and doctors and nurses getting sick. And it was almost like we were just staggered about 2 weeks behind Italy. So I'm wondering here, if this is happening to Algernon, it's going to be happening to Charlie in a little while. Is he going to get violent? Maybe they rushed a little bit too quickly to publish this study. All right, let me make this bigger. I almost didn't share. That would be awful if I started reading and didn't share the page with you. May 24th. Hey, that's actually my son's birthday, the son that I'm driving to pick up right now. Bert, who is in charge of the experimental animals, tells me that Algernon is changing. He's less cooperative. He refuses to run the maze anymore. General motivation has decreased, and he hasn't been eating. Everyone is upset about what this may mean. 25th. That's my wedding anniversary. Not that you care. They've been feeding Algernon, who now refuses to work the shifting lock problem. Everyone identifies me with Algernon. In a way, we're both the first of our kind. They're all pretending that Algernon's behavior is not necessarily significant for me, but it's hard to hide the fact that some of the other animals who were used in this experiment are showing strange behavior. Dr. Strauss and Dr. Namor have asked me not to come to the lab anymore. I don't know what they were thinking, but I can't accept it. I am going ahead with my plans to carry their research forward. With all due respect to both of these fine scientists, I am well aware of their limitations. If there is an answer, I'll have to find it out for myself. Suddenly, time has become very important to me. All right, so what we are going to see here in the coming days is that literally there is like a time crunch for Charlie. He realizes that this intelligence might disappear for him. He might become more agitated, less cooperative, start to get mean, things like that. So he's going to work very diligently to try and not let that happen. If you remember, like, I don't know, we didn't really talk about it yesterday, but like, seems like he knows Chinese, Hindustani, um, Greek, Latin, and Hebrew, right? So if there was like one little line a couple days ago where it said one of the doctors suggested he start learning foreign languages, and it seems like he did rather quickly. Remember, there was like a 2-week period where he didn't write any progress reports, but during that time, it seemed like he picked up like 5 or 6 foreign languages. All right, that's about 15 minutes. Hopefully you enjoyed the reading. I will be back, I think, on Thursday, unless driving in a car for 4 hours with my son who has the flu gives me the flu. I don't know. I got my flu shot though, so I should be good. All right. Hopefully I will see you on Thursday. Adios, amigo.